Hello guys, welcome back to bcoder.com. We are here in this YouTube channel to learn programming. Okay guys, let's go to learn Python with sololearn. In this course, we learn some things about Python completely free. Now we are in the lesson 25. So in the next lesson, we are going to learn about the lists. Hello guys, let's go to lesson 25 about lists. Okay, we are going to solo learn and the Python for beginners course, and let's go to season 5 to continue the lists in here. Okay, we learned the list operations in the last video, and here we should go to the for loops in Python. Let's go. For loop. However, we saw in the past and the past videos, we have some loops in Python. So we have a loop that it names for. This loop is very important in Python, and the for loop is used to iterate over a given sequence, such as a list or a string. The code below outputs each item in the list and adds an exclamation mark at the end. Let's check this example in here, this code in here. This is a list and it names words. This list has four items that each one is a word, such as hello, world, spam, X. And there is a for loop in here. Please look at this syntax of writing for loop, so we can see for that it's right beginning of this sentence for, and we say for word in words. That means let's check the word in this list. Okay, and when it's going to check this item in this list, we can actually check some situations. So for word in words, print word plus this sign. It's going to check this item in this list. If it can find this word in this list, it's going to print this word plus the sign. So we can see more about this for loop in the next parts of this lesson. Filling the blanks to create a valid for loop. There is a list that has three items, three letter, such as ABC, ABC, and say for X in letters, print X. If we find the X in this actually list, print X for loop. This is that past example that we saw, and say the for loop defines a variable that takes the value of the current item of the list on each iteration. So in the code above, the word variable represents the corresponding item of the list in each iteration of the loop. So during the first iteration, word is equal to hello. So and during the second iteration, the equal to world, and so on. So we have a variable in here. Okay, this variable it can be any, it can have any value that we want. So we just check this variable in this list, and we can do anything in the response of this checking. Continue. How many number will this code output? This is a list and has four items. We can check x in nums and print x multiplied by 2. So if we check this number in here, we check that maybe x will be here, and we say multiple by 2. Okay guys, so we have the 4 in the output of this code, for actually 4 number. Why? Because when we check this list in here, we have this number in the first, and it check the x item by item in the list, and it will start by the first item. So it go to multiple 4 by 2 in the first, and we have a number in here. In the next part, it's going to check 7 and multiple by 2, so it is a 2 number, and 3 multiple by 2, and 1 multiple by 2. So we have a 4 number in the output of this code. So we have this action in the for loop, because it's going to check item by item and doing anything that we say in this part, in this section. And it is a very good example for loop. A for loop can be used to iterate over strings. For example, there is a string in here, and it is a sentence. We have a variable, and it has a 0 as as a value. So we have a for loop here, and it's going to check the x in this str. It means check item by item. These letters in this uh, string, and do these things that we say. If the x, it means each item of here, equals t, uh, add a 1 to this count variable. Okay, so we have a 1t in here, and it's continue to checking the t equals t. So we can find another t in here. So we have actually 2t in this str, so we can print count, and we can find how many t are in this string that we write. So the code above defines a count variable, iterates over the string, and calculates the count of t letters in it. During each iteration, the x variable represents the current letters of the string. So the count variable is incremented each time the letter t is found. So at the end of the loop, it represents the number of t letters in the string. Fill in the blanks to iterate over the string, str, and output each character. So for x in str, print x, very easy. So we should write here for in str, this sign, and print x. And similar to while loops, the break and continue statements can be used for can be used in for loops to stop the loop or jump to the next iteration. This example, there is a string in here, where there is a for loop in here, and we say for x in this text, if the x equals break and print x. So if we found any in this text, we just break and print this x. For example, when we arrive this in here, it's just this break this condition, and it's going to print the x in here. So it will print the and then try to write this in here. So we have 2 in this text. What the output of this code? List. There is a list that has some items, some numbers, and we said for x in this list, if the x mod by 2 was 1 and x was bigger than 4, prints x and break. Okay, we check it. In the first item, the 2 is equal, the 2 mod by 2 is 1, but it's not bigger than 4. So we'll going to the next item. The 3 doesn't have this condition. The 4 doesn't have this condition. The 5 has this condition but doesn't has this condition. The 6 is okay, no, sorry. The 5 has this condition because 5 multiplied by 2 is 1. We have a reminded, a 1 reminded in percentage 5 by 2. So we have this reminded and is bigger than 4. So we can print the 5 and break this for loop. For and while. So we've got the for and while loops, which can be used to execute a block of code multiple times. So which do we use and when? Usually we use to for loop when the number of iteration is fixed. For example, iterating over a fixed list of items in a shopping list. The while loop is useful in cases when the number of iterations isn't null and depends on some calculations and conditions in the code block of the loop. For example, the ending the loop when the user enters a specific input in the calculator program. While both for and while loops can be used to achieve the same result, the for loop has a cleaner shorter syntax, making it a better choice in most cases. Okay, so for and while, which contrast can be used to iterate through a list, we can say loops. So there is a practice. We're going to solve it and finish this part of a lesson and finish this lesson. We say for loops allow you to easily iterate through lists. Give a list of numbers, calculate their sum using a for loop. Okay, there is a list of numbers. We're just going to calculate their sum using a for loop. Okay, we have a for in here and say I in x. We say, and actually we can make a variable like this, and we can say for I in sorry, it is false. For I in x, it will check item by item in this list, and we can say I sum is I. Okay, and I can say plus in here I. So sorry. So in this part, we're just going to add this item to the sum and then continue. Okay. So let me print sum. Let me to check this. See what happened. Okay, it's true. There is a list of numbers. Okay, we create a variable like sum and we put 0 as a value for this variable and we say for I in x. Okay, we check these items with I item by item and we say add this item I. It means each item in here, check each item and add it to sum. Okay, so in the first time we have 0 in here. When it's come here, add 42 to here, so we have 42 in here. Then it's going to here and add 8 to 42, and then add 7 to 50, and step by step. So in this for loop, we're just going to add each item together and print it in the result. Continue. We done this practice, and the last question. What is the output of this code? There is a list and has some numbers as a value, and there is a variable that has a zero as a value, and a for loop in here that say x in nums. If x mod by 2 was 0, continue. Else, add the x to this rest and print rest. So let's check it. 1 mod by 2 is false. So continuing here and add the 1 to rest. 2 mod by 2 is 0. So continue. 3 mod by 3. Sorry. Sorry. If this continue. Oh, okay. 3 mod by this. 3. So we add. So this condition is not true. So in here we add this 3 to rest. Our last one was 1, so we add 3 to 1 and we have 4, and here 4 multiplied by 2 is 0, so just continue and don't uh, use this. So if we print this, if we print rest, we have 4 because the sum of 3 and 1 is 4, and we have a 4 in the results. Okay guys, we finished this lesson about for loop in lists and Python. I wish that was be useful for you. In the next lesson we're going to talking about the range in lists and Python. Please like this video and comment your opinion to improve my videos. Thank you guys. You can see another videos in our YouTube channel. Please subscribe our channel to watch more videos. Thank you and goodbye until the next lesson.